National Lampoon's
Damn, that's sweet.
Vacation.
I didn't see this.
In Warner Brothers' 100th anniversary, Russ.
Before you go any further, round of applause to Warner Brothers. I think they kind of got this right with original artwork. Congratulations, Warners. You got your shit together in your 100-year anniversary.
Finally. I agree. This is the first time I've looked at some packaging. I was like, okay, they did something right.
You remember in a previous video, we complained, and I was the one who said, watch, it's going to be like that chintzy-ass Blu-ray with the close-up of Chevy Chase, and I think the car, you know, going off in the desert. It was terrible, terrible.
Absolutely awful. What you're looking at here, Russ, is...
I'm looking at a pre-order.
Would appear so, wouldn't it?
National Lampoon's Vacation Collector's Edition from Warner Brothers. As you can tell, this box is a little thick.
Are you gonna go for it?
If you aren't interested in the Collector's Edition for some reason, and you want to get the regular edition, Russ, then you're going to be stuck with this horrendous piece of shit.
Yeah.
They threw John Candy on the cover?
On a moose. He's in it for like 5 seconds.
And he's not on a moose at all. I mean, I know Marty Moose, I get it, but...
Look at this dog shit cover.
Damn, they got Edna on the cover,
Dude,
too.
They got, what is this, St. Louis in the middle of the desert?
This is the most uninspired collage I've ever seen in my life.
I think this might even be worse than the one you were talking about, the Blu-ray.
I feel like as years have gone on, more people are familiar and love Christmas Vacation the most out of any vacation movie. Why aren't they throwing Eddie on this cover? Randy Quaid, why not? Like
He should be on the moose. That would make more sense.
Get that Randy Quaid money.
Get that Randy Quaid money. That Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid.
Him.
Blow me!
Now there is some photos as to what's inside of the collector's edition box. What you're getting is 4 double-sided art cards, a double-sided poster, a bumper sticker, and some sort of like pouch that goes inside, and then what they're calling a rigid box. But on the inside, you're going to get the regular edition art that can be is already found sold separately. Now, one other thing has been shown for this release as well, Russ. So now we've got a regular, we've got a collector's edition, and now we've got the Best Buy exclusive Steelbook.
It's nice.
It is nice, and I was kind of looking at all the different options, trying to like weigh what I felt like was worth it to me as far as, you know, how much I like this movie, what I want to buy or not buy. I'm definitely not getting that regular one. That just looks dumb as hell. I think the Steelbook might be the sweet spot for me. I think in general, this picture, this art looks like it could lend itself to a nice Steelbook. What do you think?
Well, being that it's Best Buy, I wish they do the Lionsgate thing and just have a clear slip that goes over it, maybe of like the dead dog being dragged on the car as you pull it down. You know what I mean? Edna's corpse, it just comes down on the slip. That would be beautiful. That might sway me.
That might sway you?
But no, unfortunately, when it comes to rigid box versus Steelbook, I'm a rigid box guy. The rigid boxes trump the steels.
Quiet down, Russ.
I'll tell you what, here's where they would get me, is if like Xavier or someone did the rigid box with the steel inside. Then I would come over to the dark side. And one other thing I just wanted to add also, which I noticed here, in the art cards you see down here a picture of that photo that's on the regular edition, but it's the same picture, except in the art, they superimposed John Candy on a moose, which, again, if you're going to use this art, fine. I didn't even realize that was a real picture, but it is, so use it. But you have to put him on the moose? That's just so stupid.
Throw fucking Brian Doyle Murray in there with the watermelon. You just put him in the background. Shit.
I think you're all f***ed in the head.
Another release, Russ, that I got to bring up, and you know I love bringing this movie up. I'm going to keep bringing it up. I'm glad that US is finally getting an opportunity if you missed out on the indicator version, and that is the movie Irreversible. So Vinegar Syndrome, they do some like partner label releases sometimes. This label, Altered Innocence, is putting out Irreversible with a slip for a limited time. Again, this is in the US. It's almost the same release that Indicator put out, minus a handful of special features and the hard box that comes with it. Everything else, as far as the restoration and stuff, is all here. So if you are really after this movie and you missed that first one, it is here. Russ, I don't know if you got the Indicator release or
I didn't.
Does this appeal to you in any way, Russ?
It doesn't, because I'm a collector and I missed out on that first one. So seeing this on my shelf would just irritate me, and I'd rather not own it at all.
Wow.
That's
deep.
That's the dilemma of being a collector.
You always just want whatever the best thing is that's out there. you feel like you got the lesser, but maybe you don't like hard boxes. Maybe you just want a regular slip. Maybe that's all.
Maybe you're a casual fan of Irreversible.
Yeah.
You just throw it on in the background for certain scenes, you know?
You're doing laundry, you just throw Irreversible on.
Yeah, the kids, you know, they're bored. You want to give them something to watch.
In the car on the iPad, just flip it on. Straight cut, original cut. What do you kids want? But just wanted to mention that again. My favorite movie of all time. Need people to know. Support
your
Irreversible.
favorite movie of all time?
No, dude. No, just because I feel like we talk about it all the time. Support Irreversible.
You do. That's why I believed it. I was like, wait, I thought it was Pulp Fiction.
Over in Australia, Russ, one of our favorite companies, Umbrella Entertainment, who just keep, I feel like, up in their own game, they're putting out in a very nice collector's edition Blu-ray set, the film Kids, coming out July 2023, a very divisive film. It's never been released on Blu-ray in the US. Many fans have imported this from, I think, Germany and maybe like one other country.
I have.
Thanks.
And again, you're going to have to import one more time if you want to get this one from Australia. But I feel like if you're a fan of this movie, Umbrella really nails the whole package here for fans. This thing is super nice. It's very proper, well done. It's got a rigid outer box and then a slipcase over top of the release itself that goes inside of it. There is a 48-page behind-the-scenes art book, a reversible poster, some like original 35mm collectible film frame.
I hope it's Telly trying to get Casper to smell his finger.
Dude, that guy is so obnoxious. I f***ing hated him so bad.
I can understand that.
And then also included is the 2022 Tribeca Film Festival award-winning documentary, We Were Once Kids. And you also get a new commentary and one archival featurette. So not a ton of new features other than the documentary, which I'm sure dives into quite a bit if you are interested in this film. So if you are a kids fan, this definitely looks like the release to get, especially because it has that entire documentary. So for US buyers, you're going to have to import this. It's $55 US before probably about $30 shipping. If you are a fan of Umbrella stuff, and there's a lot of releases that they have that you want to get, if you spend $140, you get free shipping. So it's a kind of a big amount, but they do have a lot of good stuff on here. By the time you buy maybe 2 or 3 of these collector's editions, you might be there already. So Russ, what are your thoughts here?
Man, I really want it. I really want it. It's a great film. Tell you what, if I lived in Australia, day one, but yeah, adding in all the shipping costs.
It's a lot.
It is. My birthday's coming up. I would love a release of this similar to The Guest or something Arrow does, or that American Psycho one that we both have where it included the soundtrack, because this soundtrack is fire.
No, that's true. This does have a really good soundtrack.
And honestly, most of the songs in the movie aren't even on the soundtrack, but the songs that are, like all the folk implosion stuff and all, top notch.
I know what you're saying, yo. I know what you're saying.
The fact that this is getting a really nice, hard, rigid box, slipcase and everything, you know this is going to feel nice. It's going to be great. And Umbrella, I've been a fan of theirs for a little while. We've covered a bunch of their releases.
Do you think this will ever get an American release?
I don't know. Why hasn't it? What's the problem?
I mean, you could easily cancel this movie.
Well, for sure. I mean, but it does exist. You can still get it.
The
rent
director
it,
is problematic. I mean, think about it. It's like an old head dude who was following around kids in New York.
Little borderline. Is this art or is this porn?
Exactly. It was like one of those kind of deals from what I understand.
Because it feels real, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the weird debate. Is that the problem? As art, it feels so real that, I mean, that's incredible. Like, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Whenever this movie came out, you watched it when you watched it, but to watch it when you're the age that these kids are is also an interesting experience. I'm sure there was a lot of adults that watched this movie when it came out at that time, so they probably couldn't bridge that gap, like emotionally, like what living like that. But I always looked at this movie like, wow, there's kids like that, like my age, living this way. Like, where is this? And well, it's like, do I want to be there? Do I not want to be there? It's just weird to know that there was kids like this your age doing this stuff, because I certainly wasn't.
I mean, I kind of was.
Jesus Christ, what happened?
Taking 40s in your pants, sniffing whippets, and giving AIDS to sleeping women.
The AIDS part, yes, definitely. You didn't grow up like that?
Pussy.
Dude, when I saw this for the first time, I was 14, and it like amped me up. I was like, fuck yeah. I want to be like
kids awesome.
I'm going to be real. I was. I remember watching this movie. I was like,
Can't wait to
I can't wait to I can't wait to get AIDS. I want to be like these guys.
This is a coming of age story. It's not a cautionary tale.
It's basically Stand By Me. No, but like, trust me, like it scared the shit out of me, honestly. I simultaneously looked at it because of how real it was.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, damn, I want to hang out with them. I feel like I know them, and there were Similar aspects, but it also scared the shit out of me to have sex.
Pussy.
And of course, growing up in the 90s, we were inundated with AIDS commercials every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So like, wear a condom, this shit's gonna kill you and all that. I was terrified. I think Kids is maybe the most, it's definitely top 5 most 90s movies.
Yeah, it's very gritty and raw feeling, and just I feel like it gives you that New York experience also really well.
Oh yeah, like the slang, the style of clothes and all that. If you watch Clueless, for instance, which is another one I'd probably put in like a top 10 90s teen, but I mean that felt like a production. That felt like there was costuming and wardrobe, and this just felt like somebody followed around a bunch of people with a camera, yet it has cinematic qualities. I mean, when you watch this movie, it's hard to believe that it was written. I always wondered how much of this was ad-libbed versus on the page.
Might have been just loose. So Russ's birthday's coming up, everybody. If you're interested, if you're interested in sending it something his way, come on down.
All right, go on.
One quick title that I wanted to mention, Russ, 4 Rooms. You're a big fan of 4 Rooms?
Never saw it. Big fan.
Not so much big fan?
Man, 4 Rooms is hard. I'm a big fan of one room in it. Another room's decent. Another room's all right. That first room I can do without.
The movie as a whole is like charming enough to where I can enjoy it, even though I do like certain rooms better than others. But it's a movie that's I've only ever owned on DVD, and it was never released on Blu-ray in the US. Well, I know that Germany and maybe a couple other places released it on Blu-ray. So one day I got like desperate, and I was like, I want to watch 4 Rooms, and I really want it on Blu-ray. This company put out like 5 of these. There's 5 different covers of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. Oh, 84 film, I think it says on the side. It's the original art cover, and then they had a bunch of other ones, but they were all media books. And it's Germany. So again, the booklet itself is in German, but it's a Blu-ray. It's what I wanted, and I managed to get that copy. These all have since sold out. I got this one on eBay itself, but I was so excited to get it. And then when I put it in, the Blu-ray itself was so bad looking. It looked like such crap. Like I couldn't believe how just it might as well have been DVD. It just looked fuzzy. It looked dirty. Like I'm not sure what this release, like what Blu-ray they got for this. The package is great, but I was really just kind of like depressed by the fact that I didn't think the movie looked very good. Well, Via Vision Australia, they're putting 4 Rooms out in Blu-ray. Again, it's not US, it's Australia, but they mention that this is coming with a new 4K scan of the original file, which I think is funny how they call it the original file. But a new 4K scan, which I think is pretty awesome. Again, like this movie hasn't ever seen Blu-ray in the US. Maybe this is going to be something that's really spectacular to look at. There isn't really any news on the features. I don't know. I just thought that was pretty cool. And this is something I'm going to be paying attention to because that media book I have is pretty much garbage.
Are you picking this one up?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, it's $30 and then it'd be about 15 something shipping, $45, $50 by the time. I don't think that's worth it.
It's encouraging that there's a 4K scan in existence, so
that's where I'm at.
May hint towards something in the future.
That's where my head's at, and I just wanted to throw that out there in case anybody was interested.
Would you cut off your pinky to receive a 4K of 4 Rooms?
Only if it could be sewed back on at the hospital within the hour. I wanted to give you a quick update on your favorite studio, Titans of Cult. They made a quick, brief news item on their Instagram, and it was a just kind of like a little teaser, not about necessarily their next release, but they were teasing that they are changing, maybe you could say upgrading their box.
No way.
They're hinting at, and everyone's commenting like, great, glad the plastic box is going away, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what kind of box.
Is there a shortage on sharp plastic?
People were killing themselves at home with it, slicing their wrists open when they realized what they paid for.
It was a hazard buying Casino Royale.